Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this from the National Telegraph. Naive left-wing streamer indirectly fundraised $286,069 for Hamas. Well done, Mr. Vaush. The only good thing about him is that he does have a good voice. But beyond that, he's an absolute anti-Semitic moron. He is a communist after all. But before we go on, I need to make a point. I need to shave. I'm starting to look like a caveman again. Look at this. This needs to go. Otherwise, I'm not gonna look sexy as I have to be for you guys. What I do for you people, it's unreal. And I need to also make a note. The weather is dry. It's not going to rain for the next following days. It's going to be a nightmare. But my nose is having a hissy fit. Estoy a temperatum, kind of like the BLM, Antifa, and pro-Palestinians all together. And I'm sneezing like a goddamn filthy moron as well. I'm sneezing worse than a fat kid in a candy shop after candy. Holy shit, or even worse when an Antifa sees a bank nearby. Oh god. And it's bad, really. The weather is not helping. Anyway, let's go. Vaush, a self-described anti-fascist YouTuber and Twitch streamer, had a live stream on May 17, 2021 to raise funds for charity operating in GAZA. He announced on Twitter the next day that after 27 hours of live streaming, Jesus Christ, his channel managed to raise $292,000 with $284.71 for charity. Vaush claimed to have spoken with the organization's founder and is confident. Fucking mosquito. I'm pretty sure this little prick is going to stop sucking my blood. Do you think my blood is free? Do you think that my blood here, the blood I make here, is free? It costs money, you little shit. If you start contributing money when you stop sucking my blood, then yeah, I'll think about it. But otherwise, you don't suck my blood. It costs money. Anyway, the stream has since been unlisted. on YouTube. The money went to the charity Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Yes, this is where I'm going to come and make a point here. It's the same organization. These morons from IGN supported Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. I was gonna say chief. It's IGN, as you can see. It's retarded. Medical doctors, at least they only, this one I have yet to, I haven't researched about this one, but I know this one supports terrorism and this one too. Anyway, and it's the same organization here from TechRaptor, as you can see here. So basically, technically, TechRaptor is actually way worse than IGN in this regard. Terrorism. But then again, these people are all anti-Semites. Why? It's no surprise. Let's see, this is the tab. Here it is. Sorry, it's a bit complicated. I have a myriad of tabs open. Most of them are about this video. Oh, and I want to make a shout out to the guy who actually found out about the UNRWA. I think that I got the name right. Yes, RWA. And the Islamic Relief and Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, for me, well, for everybody, but either way, I want to make a shout out to him. He's a user in Kotaku in action2.when, so thank you there, dude. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he wants to or not, but since I'm strapped on time, I cannot wait for him to reply. Either way, It's an anonymous mention, so thank you, dude, for doing all the legwork, for doing all the job here. Thank you very much. Anyway, now back here to the article itself. MilitantIslamMonitor.org terror-tied Palestinian Children's Relief Fund gets money from celebrity album to aid their activities. December 7th, 2014. The Palestinian Children's Relief Fund is run by Steve Sosebi, a virulently anti-Semitic convert to Islam. That explains a fucking lot of things. And fervent supporter of Hamas. Also explains why their building got targeted by Israel. They said, oh, they targeted us because we were helping children in need. As it turns out, only the top level got destroyed, and with this, it's pretty much easy to suspect that they were using either their building to either store weapons or as planning or as a shelter for Hamas. So no surprise there. Anyway, the organization has been tied to numerous terrorist entities, including the Holy Fund for Relief and Development, and the Global Relief Fund, which were closed down by the US government on November 1st. A monthly assortment of musicians released an album with the proceeds going to PCRF. All proceeds go directly to support the surgical and medical teams. Yeah, bullshit. The Palestinian Relief Fund, the other charity group, the DiAngelo, is affiliated and is headed by Steven Sosebi, a journalist with his time fantasies, Israeli murder. Jesus Christ. Let's move on. In addition, received thousands of dollars American Anti-Discrimination Committee, ADC. CSO spoke on behalf of PCRF. Let's move on. Posted on November 1st. Sorry, my nose again. Peter Gabriel said his decision pacific, although I'm sure both Palestinian and Israeli people will benefit enormously from just and fair two-state agreement based on 67. We have watch Palestinians. OE founder executive conducted several awareness. Let's see. This may not be producers on the Philadelphia chapter had a fundraiser to Mazda Cuba. Well, they didn't go into much detail here, or unless I missed it. Jesus Christ, my nose. Anyway, I think it is here. The Holy Land Foundation for Relief and Development and Global Relief Foundation are closed down by the US. Another sister organization, International Islamic Relief Organization, was raided by the FBI, accused of filtering money to Al-Qaeda, Egyptian Islamic Jihad, and Hamas. The New York Post records that the International Islamic Relief Organization has been naming a lawsuit put forward by families of the 9/11 victims, played key roles in laundering the funds for terrorists in the 1998 African embassy bombings, and have been involved in financial and aiding and abetting terrorists in the 1993 World Trade Center. If you'll excuse me, my nose had decided to go a protest, so let me just mute this. You don't need to hear it. I think it got through. Sorry, I had to blow my nose, and there's no pause feature in Streamlabs OBS, so my apologies. You can jump that way. Anyway, where was I? African embassy bombings have been involved in the financial and aiding and abetting of terrorists in 1993 World Trade Center bombing. On this website, was with this organization knowledge they support and cooperation. See, more terrorism. So it's no surprise. And here we have it. The Islamic Relief is one of the largest Islamic charities in the world, founded in 1984. Branches offices, remains on terror, extremism at the helm. Founder Islamic former trustee of several charities, links of Islamic extremism and terror, Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Aqsa Voice, El-Haddad, co-founder of Islamic Relief, Muslim Brotherhood, human rights. Jesus Christ, it's It's the norm with these people. So let's go. And yeah, this means that every single cent raised was used indeed to fund healthcare for the Hamas government territory. They can redirect the money they would have used for healthcare into rockets and pay for slave programs. PCRF offices were being used by Hamas early this May for targeting Israeli citizens during the firing of over 3,300 rockets. If it weren't for the Iron Dome, the Israeli anti-missile defense system put in place by the US... not quite. The Obama simply funded one battery. No, I didn't get it! Fuck! And it only funded one battery. Everything else was done by Israel. The entire country would have been wiped out. The majority of the casualties would have been Israeli civilians. Despite the protection of the Iron Dome, at least 10 Israeli civilians have been killed in the attacks. Yeah, slightly way more, and there's at least 2 or 3 children, if I'm not wrong, who died as well. And foreign workers also died. For instance, 2 Thai from Thailand, Thai workers from a factory near Gaza. Anyway, the charity founder, Steve Sotheby, at one point retweeted someone promoting Vaush fundraiser. Included among his various hashtags, the fund the... Jesus Christ. PCRF has also been put out tweets claiming that Gaza is under attack as if the IDF were performing strikes in an offensive to take the territory and not just retaliate against Hamas militants firing their own rockets into Israel. Much for the solidarity. Vaush is a disgrace, as usual. What an embarrassment. That guy is a grifter, allegedly. Its 1 million children are the main victims suffering physical and psychological trauma. Donate to urgent Gaza relief fund to help PCRF continue a 30-year-long mission providing direct humanitarian aid to Gaza children. Have you noticed that almost all socialists, and that includes neo-Nazis, /Nazis, fascists, communists, Maoists, anarcho-communists, are all anti-Semites. Have you noticed that? Those are part of Marx's teachings, that in which he supported, yes, anti-Semitism. He was an avowed anti-Semite. Despite having Jewish ancestry, he viewed Jews as part of the evil capitalism. And that's exactly what happens. Because have you ever noticed how these people operate? How these people are? For instance, look at the amount of hate and attack that the Jews receive. Attack on Jewish families under investigation by NYPD, Hate Crime Task Force from CNN. You can actually see, you can actually understand that these people are not interested in coexisting with the Jews. They want to attack. You can see that they provoked those attacks and they want to kill or harm them. Look, another example. 4 NYC synagogues targeted by rock-throwing assailants, police. This is from NBC. No, this is something else. Something else too. Let me go. Yeah. This is all there for ABC as well. New Jersey family, target of anti-Semitic attack while vacationing in Florida. Eric Organ has his family say they were the targets of an ugly anti-Semitic attack while vacationing in Florida. 4 people in an SUV rolled down their windows and began shouting anti-Semitic remarks and then threw garbage at the family. 4 males, probably in their early 20s, started to scream at us through the window, you know, Free Palestine, a driver who witnessed the attack pulled out a gun and chased the SUV as it sped off. Yeah. And then we have more. Look at this. This is from the Times of Israel. Jews attack, 1 person burned amid pro-Palestinian protest in New York City. Again, This is from New York again, but this time is from Fox News. NYC attack on bloody Jewish man seeking refuge from Palestinian activists. The incident comes amid heavy fighting between Israeli forces and Hamas. And there is more. You think that's it? Huh. You haven't seen nothing yet, boyo! Oops. And from Daily Mail, pro-Palestinian mob throws firework at pro-Israel supporter in NYC Diamond District, injuring woman, 55, and scream F **K Israel Jewish people as cops arrest and at least 20 in violent Times Square clashes. Oh, I think this is the same protest Heshi Tischler was. By the way, Heshi Tischler is fucking awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna simp for that fat bastard because he's fucking awesome. Yeah. So check out his content. Check out his channel. He is great. He has the heart as big as he is, which is big. And trust me, he's a man of a lot of love to give, and he actually cares for these people. So and others as well. So I think I got everything. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of hate going through against Jews. So as you can see, it's them, it's the pro-Palestinians in Palestine that is provoking all of this. Anyway, on May 17, Israel surgically struck many areas in Gaza where Hamas was known to be operating in an effort to stall the rocket attacks onto Israeli population. Among these targets were the office building of PCRF, because it is well known to the IDF that Hamas purposefully stationed itself and its supplies inside hospitals and children. They typically announce a strike ahead of time to allow civilians to evacuate the building. This lowers the efficacy of the strikes on Hamas, but it is done nonetheless in the hopes of destroying their supplies and stalling the rocket attacks on assault on Israel. Sosabi and his tweets neglects to mention why IDF would have been targeting the building, as if Israel had simply decided to strike the building out of some spite for children, which is clearly not what was going on. Critics say that even if PCRF actually provides the medical care that it claims to be doing, not only is it providing cover for Hamas, but like many other charities operating in Gaza, its funds are misused for Hamas' ongoing terror campaign against Israel. This isn't the first time Vaush has advocated against Israel. On January 12, 2020, in a video reacting to a pro-Israel PragerU clip, Vaush argued that the people who wanted to destroy the Israeli state and remove its people from the area are justified because of Vaush's conspiratory belief that Israel is trying to eliminate Palestinian people. Yeah, if Israel really wanted that, they would have done so long ago. Trust me, they would have. And Vaush also implied later that he can't be anti-Semitic because he's an anarchist against all states. Yeah, that's a contradiction between anarchists and communists. Anarchists and comms. Just sit there and take it. Vaush famously agrees with this anyway. What was that? Something? Okay. I'm good no matter what, right? I'm anti all states. I have my plausible deniability, you know, Vaush said when talking about being anti-Semitic and defending the destruction of Israel and removal of Jews from the Middle East. Christ, this guy is a disgrace. Vaush likely is not fully aware of who he is funding, or that the charity has received from different extremist-linked organizations on the exact dynamics on the ground between PCRF and the Hamas government. Like many supporters of Palestinians in Gaza, Vaush is naive and cannot seem to house any fungible assets. Hamas causes more problems than it solves. I agree. Let's see what else. It should be noted that center-left YouTubers refused to assist Vaush in his fundraising effort, specifically due to the connections of PCRF had to the Holy Land Foundation, which is a foreign organization that's the name has become synonymous with Muslim Brotherhood front groups. Essentially, any aid sent to the Gaza Strip is not only feeding Hamas more resources to use, but it is counterproductive to try and fund medical aid for the children in Gaza when the medical resources and money being sent is causing Hamas to be able to carry on its rocket campaign longer, which will get more Palestinian children killed due to Hamas' chosen tactics of using children as human shields. And there's also not only that, Hamas also not when they launched the rockets, some of them malfunctioned because they are badly made. Reminds of the stuff the shithole, the nationals in the shithole of my country are capable of. As in, nothing they build or make lasts long or are well made. Anyway, so when they launch those rockets, it blows up, killing everyone around. And then when they misfire, where do they go? They land short, very short, more often than not, falling inside Gaza itself. And what happens? Killing the civilians in Gaza as well. And who do they blame? Yeah, you guessed it. Israel. Fascinating when you look at those retard holy fucking shits. Right. Anyway, let me just finish off once again ranting about TechRaptor. They still haven't mentioned or at least eliminated these three organizations here who are known to fund terrorists. Oh shit, I forgot to mention the other one. This is from Forbes, where Hamas gets its money. Here it is. Since then, despite repeated promises to cut off fundings for Hamas, international aid organizations in many countries kept us sending money to Gaza purposely for humanitarian aid. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, raises money for Gaza through its website, with payments going through WorldPay. Those funds come in addition to our annual budget. See, UNRWA also funding Hamas. So, in other words, nothing yet. They haven't taken it down, or at least added some other agencies if they want to at least indirectly support terrorism, because this is directly supporting terrorism. At least they do so with Doctors Without Borders or any other agency similar to it in the place of these three. Or at least donate to the UN actual refugee system, or the UN refugee agency, part of the refugee, which is different from the UNRWA. Yeah, because UNRWA is a front for terrorism and supporting terrorists. Because, as you know, as soon as a refugee is accepted on any other country where they they resettle, get a job or things like that, they lose their status as refugees, and they do not pass the refugee status to their children. Unlike the Palestinians and the UNRWA, in which even resettling, even moving to another country, even having another home somewhere else, they still hold to their status of refugees. They pass on their status to their children, who then pass on to their children's children, and goes on forth, on and on and on. See? And not only do they fund terrorists as well, and you can see here, I shared a list of some of the charities in here linked to terrorism. And still they continue. At least put other things in there, other charities that are not directly linked to terrorism. At least that much you should do if you're going to virtue signal to a group of people who are notoriously anti-Semitic. But then again, they are games journalists. They are not known to be good at anything. And to think that I actually gave TechRaptor a chance again after they deleted a bunch of articles. Yeah, a bunch of articles in support of ProGamerGate. Anyway, if you like this type of content, stay right here on youtube.com/DrJester, or head to bitchute.com/DrJester, or minds.com/DrJester for exclusive and spicy content and sometimes giggity jokes. Now, thank you for watching, and have a very good night.